so you have to print it out to be able to see it, but, you know, it's one of the most quality of life, how do they feel about the quality of life within our township? You know,
Yeah, along the same line.
so, I think those are all great things, I like the recreational use, you know, are we protecting that and within our township?
And leadership approval.
And the leadership of the township of, you know, how do they feel about it? I think that's something very important to address.
Anybody else got anything they wanna kind of throw in there with it, or any other ideas?
I just had something that flew out of my head. It'll come back. I don't
I
know
know
what else I
that
can
when,
come back to me.
like in our master plan, the goal there was sticking mainly with the agricultural use of the land surrounding the areas, leaving it agricultural. Of course, we've got our commercial and our residential areas too, so.
Right, and I just got back from Denver, and, I mean, the areas out there, you wouldn't believe the change. I was there 25 years ago, and my son was there now, but just one development going in after another off all these open land areas, and houses starting at 500, 600,000, but as far as you can see, developments going in.
It's just like Traverse City area used to be pristine out there, you stand on a hill anytime now and you're gonna find
Right.
a mall or residential area. It went from a Class B school 2 years later to 2 Class A schools, that's how, what a boom it was at that time, that's been many years ago, but
And I'm sure
it can happen.
things along that line. I mean, they have water issues, sewer issues, and things out there. All need to be addressed in their plans. They can't build them fast enough.
I think we really do need to go thoroughly over the master plan. There's a lot of things in there that haven't been touched or updated in probably decades.
Well, and that was something that we started when John was chair here, but, I mean, then we got into the wind and it kinda got all pushed back,
Sidetracked,
so we could figure out this wind before we decided to do what we want, you know, so.
Yeah,
And the next one is solar, we gotta do something with solar,
you know,
so, and that's coming too. But- So, nothing,
So what do we wanna do about the survey? Do you want me to come up with, does anybody have any other questions they want to add? Do you wanna email me questions and have me put together?
I think that would be a good idea, cause I didn't get any of that until you said it
Yeah,
off today.
so
I
So
didn't
why
get
don't
it all
you,
either.
why don't we
you
kind
would
of
got this at
postpone this?
the seminars.
oh, that's, oh, that
Yes.
stuff, yeah, I got all that.
That's the one from, managing township pro.
Let's postpone this.
That's
so
the one
we
you
can
can't
all-
see or
Did
read
you
very well.
Yeah,
Did you
Yeah.
forward it to everybody? then?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we postpone this until we all get a chance to look at it?
so, and I can come up with,
I think we need a couple open-ended questions too, as to what the general public would like to see.
that's also very subjective.
Well, I understand that,
So-
but then we can categorize something, and we'll have to come up with some kind of categories for each individual thing that we're looking for, or we can and cannot accomplish.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have the tax base to be able to
no,
do all the wonderful things that they can in big cities, so we have to keep that in mind.
We just put right in there, how do you envision the future of the township?
Yes.
And
Something
let
like
them- Like that, let them write what they'd like to see the township be. It ain't gonna be a long story, just, you know,
Yeah.
quick little run of what they would like to see. What they like township turned into.
Maybe give some like, suggestions on how, what.
Yeah.
what
so if you
the
guys come up with
future
something, send it and I can kind of compile it, so we have something to look at our next meeting, and to be able to,
And
you
do
know,
the same
cross
thing,
it off and,
1 to 5 or something like that, in a lot of these questions, that they did like or dislike,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Approve or disapprove, like you were saying.
yeah, cause
Yeah.
that's how they have the scale, and
Yeah,
they,
that's how that was done,
and they said it was very easy to categorize it
yeah,
as far as like when they got the surveys back.
yeah.
And then we can figure out how to put a link so that people can access it online on the website.
Yeah, we gotta start using our
we got?
The little we have, we gotta start using it more.
I'm hoping with Kathy, we might get a little bit more.
And keep it updated too.
Yeah.
Somebody had, who's the?
I think it was John.
John.
Okay.
So I guess in maybe, we could reach out to Dave Saucier, who was here at our last meeting, who was from Reynolds Township, cause they just put something out there and ask him, cause they had it in, on their Facebook page with a link to it and on their website. I mean, theirs was obviously different, cause they're different dynamic, but it'd also be a great reference to have. Just to be able to look at something else and see, okay, well, what did they kind of put on theirs?
We do need to look at things around us because we're, you know, we're all together and what's good for them is good for us, and vice versa. Like I always, you used to always say, you know, if you look at some of these coastal communities out east and west, you got a string of pearls and little towns and stuff, and they all link together. You know, so they all have to think about what's going on in front of them and behind them.
Well, we don't have access to the other town.
Yeah.
So we're kinda stuck out nowhere, something out here.
Yeah, we're landlocked. We're landlocked when it comes to that. We have no major arteries, so.
That's our downfall.
Yeah. Way it wanted to be.
But yeah, it's-
Intended to be.
Yeah,
Right?
and it is
I mean,
kinda nice to have that, you know,
It's not,
seclusion at times. I'll
we
tell
don't
you.
want a highway running through here either, so I mean, it's,
No, I wouldn't
the
either.
way it is intended and good.
A little more, policing would be a little nicer. I think. Hopefully that comes with the two new, Mike Williams was talking about two new. I don't wanna call
Yeah,
them.
they're interviewing right now.
Yeah, the police
There's,
officers.
yeah,
Road patrol. Yeah, they're supposed to be
road, West Road.
secondary road patrol, and both of them are supposed to be, or at least he's gonna have, not necessarily the two that he hires, but two of them are gonna be designated for that, which means that everybody should see more patrolling in their area. Hopefully, if it works out right, it should.
So if anybody thinks of any other questions they want,
Email.
just email them to me and then I can put them all on a list. We
Just
can-
a bullet point.
Yeah, no, but that's,
Like,
then we
add to
can,
all the
I'll put them on one piece of paper so you guys can all look at them. Sometimes it's just easier to review that way.
How big do we wanna make them?
I don't know, I guess that's a question.
10 questions, 5 questions, we don't wanna make it too.
Right. Go like postcard style that way, you know?
Something like that, maybe 5 to 10
What's
questions.
a postcard cost these days to mail? I have no idea.
It's a lot cheaper to stay.
Oh, and bulk rates are better too. You're right, I think that, you know, but you still have to be able to have, you have to have a return. You have to return it to us somehow, so that it's easy, they do it, put it back in the mail and it comes back. Otherwise, we'll never see them.
That might be something we wanna talk to the postmaster about,
Yeah.
see what we
Yeah.
can do there.
Agreed.
But you get on the website, that way you don't have to worry about sending them back.
Yeah, then people
Yeah.
can just go on there.
Yeah.
Because it could be just a postcard that went out to them and said, there's a survey on our website, please go fill it out, or if you need a paper copy, contact the office and
Yeah.
you can get it from
Again,
in the office.
when's the office open?
Mondays to
Mondays to
10 to
Okay,
noon.
they are opening it now?
Mondays 10 to noon.
10
On
to
the
noon.
website that they are.
Has Has anybody looked?
That's probably
I
gonna
have gone through on Mondays between 10 and 12, and yes, she has been there. Have I personally stopped? No. But I will.
that's probably the most economical way to do it too, come to
Yeah.
think of it, you know.
A postcard that says, here's a link to,
Well,
or here's our Facebook page, or here's our website, there's a survey on there, please go ahead and fill it out.
Yeah.
And if you don't have access to that, here's the time and, you know, the
Yeah,
office.
cause I know
phone
some
number.
people don't have.
Some people aren't tech savvy, and that's okay.
Well, not only that,
You know, that's-
not only that, but we got a lot of dead spots here in this
Well,
township.
and a lot of older people that don't have computers, so.
Don't want them.
I think I'd talk to the postmaster anyway, see if we
Yeah.
hopefully or even do it, postcard with a return. See what we can at least do that way. And, if it's too much, then we'll just go back to the website or fill out.
I think going to the website to begin with would be easier, is if there's so many people that want one mailed out, then they can request it. Or they can stop and get a copy. Since we have office hours now.
You know, again, we gotta put that on that postcard so that people know that we do have office hours now.
That's along leadership and all that, you know, township, information and leadership and how is that conveyed and how do people feel about it.
Can I say something on that? I have checked into like 9x6 size flyers, postcard flyers to go out, and through Aeroswift in Greenville, with postage and everything included for Maple Valley Township, would run approximately $370, just in case you guys
How
wanted
many?
to.
For how many?
$1,050, and Maple Valley.
Aerosmith?
Yep, and Maple Valley Township, residents are about 1,043, and that's as long, if you're not, that's not including, we'll say like where Michelle's at, over on Lake Montcalm. You're Howard City, correct?
Yes.
She's Howard City, so it doesn't cover her even though she's Maple Valley Township. It's just the ones that are delivered by our Coral and our Trufant, postal services, which is 1,043, so it doesn't cover the border. You've got a handful that it's not gonna cover from the border, and it would go up a little over $100 if you went actual door to door to make sure you hit every single one of them, if you guys wanna know.
Well, I think too, even in the Lakeview paper, we can have announcements done as long as it's for the township. So we can have an announcement put in there that if nobody gets it by mail, maybe we put it in the paper to get it out to the.
Well, how many,
And it was 1,000 for 300 something?
1,050 for, it'd be a little less than 370, and that's included the postage and the printing and all of it.
how many weeklies are distributed in the township? I don't get one anymore. I call it fish wrappers, but, you know, I'm talking.
The River Valley Shopper,
No,
no,
not the
you have to
Lake-
pick them up in a store.
The little,
Like the River Valley Shop.
yeah, that kind of.
You don't get it all that
I
side
know.
years ago.
You gotta pick it up in a store.
Well, they don't do it to anybody anymore? Oh, okay.
That's our technology. Thank you.
Now, last
Appreciate
month when,
Yeah, I just got the information today, so.
Thank you.
when David Saucier was here talking about this, thought he said something about they only sent it out to property owners, that survey. I'm not-
If you go to the River Valley, to the River Valley Shopper, and you give them your address for a farmer, they will send you the River Valley Shopper.
Oh,
Otherwise, you have to go to the gas station to get one.
Well, I'm not worried about that, Ryan.
Well, that's what he was talking about.
What David
No,
was
with the
here,
surveys that they.
and
Oh,
he sent out, he's talking about the survey to the residents.
oh. I thought you
Okay,
said River
no,
Valley.
okay, I'm sorry, and it seemed like he said that they sent it out only to the property owners, he said something about going on the tax records to find out who. So I don't know if that's something you might wanna consider too, I don't know if it would cut down on postage or whatever, but.
yeah, but don't you think that even, you know, I don't know how many people are renting in the township. They are property owners, but don't you think they
They did the
So
vote.
they should be able
Look,
to.
they have the,
If you go on the USPS website, which is where the gentleman from Aerospace took me, it brings you up there and you'll put in
the area.
you put in this area code, you put in Trufin's area code, and it brings it right up to where every house our postal worker delivers to for Maple Valley Township as far as in Trufin and in Coral. But like I said, the only thing it's gonna miss is right there on the border where half of Lake Montcalm is Maple Valley Township and half of Lake Montcalm is Reynolds or Winfield. It's gonna miss that right there, but you can also go specifically on the website and get that border area also. But if you do, it ends up being a couple $100 more.
Is
And
that like a bulk flyer then?
huh?
Is that a bulk flyer?
Yes,
Yeah.
I wonder how many,
like what your survey would be, yes.
I wonder how many different mailings we do have. I don't
Two.
know. Just two?
Yep.
We don't, Sand Lake isn't out in the southeast, southwest corner?
That would come through for the Sand Lake,
I
that's what I'm
understand.
talking about, the actual border, you would have to do a whole different way to do the actual
Oh,
border,
sure,
that's a couple $100 more with only getting a handful of people that you're gonna get in that area, and is it worth it? If you're gonna mail them out and put it on your website or whatever, I mean, those that are out in that area, if they wanted it, they could have access to it also.
And again, if you put it in like the Lakeview paper or something, a lot of people just Lakeview paper, yeah.
Daily News.
Yep. Daily News or the Lakeview, either one, at least that goes out. It could be just a township announcement.
I don't know.
We just did it with our Saturdays, Santa coming to town. So we did it with them and they put it right in for us, and it cost us nothing.
Thanks for checking, Sonny.
His many people you can any way you can.
You said that was a 6x9 card?
Yes,
It's like about like that big,
Yep.
pretty much, a little bigger than this, but,
Big postcard set.
yeah.
Thank you. Wonder if we can get something. It'd be nice to know who we could count on to post stuff on the community page. Yep. No, I think she left. Can I come down Monday, right? Monday?
Monday 10 to 12, she is here.
I don't write it down, I will for you. I did turn in, I know a lot of you people are asking us to get something for like a PA system. I did turn in a couple quotes to John, and we're gonna have another township meeting here next week. 2 weeks. I will try and stay on him about that too, so.
I got a paper you gave me, I'm gonna bring in the meeting, show it to you.
Okay.
Got prices on them.
I sat back in the back for the township board meeting and I could hardly hear anything.
Well, and we're freezing to death without that running.
Yeah.
It's either
Freezer.
a microphone or we're in a nice spot. Yeah.
Well, maybe with that COVID money, we can get a new furnace for this joint, that would be quiet and efficient.
I can turn it up, but we won't hear.
You still gotta muffle it through.
Yeah.
Yes, you gotta do it.
So do we wanna do anything, cause we really only got the
We
sound
really didn't
left?
have any changes, so there wasn't, I had it on there, but
I will send, cause I thought these went out to all the planning commission members, but they didn't, this was the last revised draft.
okay.
And I will send it to, I'll get it to you, cause I know you can distribute it.
Yep.
So that's what is that now?
It's our latest draft.
Okay.
But
And
I
that
went
came
through
from-
it and it's the same as the one I went through this
It's,
latest draft and it's the same as the one we got on October 7th meeting.
you know, and the big
Okay.
things
So it's the
are,
same
what,
thing.
there's a lot of, way it was worded.
Yeah,
And it'll be over in that dark area box where he changed it, it shows what he did.
yeah, but I compared the two, they're
Same
alike,
thing?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
You got a copy of what,
I just got a copy.
but Ann has a copy of what you just got?
No, that was last month's that I had got
She
a
said
copy
she
of that.
compared them, so
But see, until we didn't have nothing on it, he just sent it back to me, so I copied it back off and handed one down so that,
That one should be
That's the
nothing new to it.
it's the
Okay,
same thing.
alright, yeah.
It's just the difference in the,
We sent it to the attorney.
yeah, that was the last time he was here.
He gave me this, Roger gave me this one, so I don't. But I compared it to the one we got in October, and it's the same, everything's the same.
But the one says it's formatted, not highlighted.
Okay.
You know, it's just, I'll send that to you and you can
Okay.
send it off to everybody else. Okay, so that. I think that covers the whole business, don't it? And you got your quotes for the sound engineer?
I did, Robert Rand, said he would do a Zoom call with us, so that's, I just need to make sure that we could do a cord out to here, which we should be able to. And I can't remember what the cost was, it wasn't that cheap.
Where was this from? Is this
Ian,
something you-
okay, this was from you? This is from Apex.
Is that, okay, all I know is somebody came in and gave it to me, and
So this was given to us at the beginning of the meeting from Apex.
Oh,
This is wind turbine acoustics from RSG,
well,
from the Michigan
The one
Conservative
that
Energy
we-
Forum.
the one that I seen that John has is not affiliated with Apex at all.
Do we know what, place it's from?
I didn't write it down, so, yes, I do, but I don't.
I
I
can
will
relate to
send,
that.
I will send it on. Okay, I didn't know who said that. So I guess that's kind of the end of all we've got going so far. We open up the round table, just please be cordial and friendly to all of us.
So I just back up, so we're gonna get a copy of this and then.
You have a copy
No,
of this, I gave that to
I
you.
don't care.
The draft.
The draft ordinance, and then we review it and whatever,
Yep,
so then
yep, yep.
anything we see in that next time we'll discuss.
Yep,
And then
it's
if
kind
you
of the
guys-
same one we've had for the last 6 months, other than we've changed wording around or, you know, little tweaks here or there.
So next meeting, we'll.
I think the biggest one is gonna be the last and final, is gonna be the sound with, whether it's LEN2 or LDN or LMAX or whatever we decide to go with, you know, so I think that's our biggest hurdle, once we get over that, I think we
Well,
get the
can we-
final
are
draft.
there other areas open for discussion in it?
Yeah,
Yeah, we could, yeah.
Alright, good.
I just thought we had pretty much covered what we had the big concerns with.
I guess I think.
I have concerns on some of it too after visiting a few of them and whatever, so. But I'll wait till we get that copy, mark them up and go from there then.
And if anybody else has stuff that they want on the January agenda, please email me and tell me, this is something I'd like to have on there, so we can have it on there, so we can, you know, kind of have an order of what we wanna go through. And
Will
it'll
there
just
be
make it easier.
What is the holiday, is there anything?
It's
any
January
conflict?
sixth?
Okay,
I think
so
so,
no
yeah.
issue,
Nope,
okay.
no, I've already put it off my 2022 calendar, so it is January sixth is our next meeting after this. Alright, anything else?
What's that?
As far as I'm concerned.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
We're opening up, 3 minutes, we're gonna let you ask your questions, we're not gonna answer anything until your 3 minutes are up. If we can answer something, we'll answer it, if we don't know, we're not gonna answer it.
Okay. I
You
have a
ready?
timer.
Anybody?
Tyler Trueweiler. I was kind of excited when the gentleman on the end said that he had something that he would like to add this month, because it seems like this is a verbatim repeat of last month's meeting. And I'm a little bit confused as to what's been done, because we ended the last month's meeting on, okay, you guys are all gonna send an email to whoever with some questions for the survey that's gonna go out. Now that's what we're ending this meeting on. This is the second month in a row where almost nobody even read the emails that did go out last time. Nobody seems, from my perspective, to really know what's going on with anything. If this survey does go out, Pine Township did something similar, go through all the ins and outs of getting this plan and sending the survey out, what are you gonna do with the information once you have all this information? If it does come back that the majority want safe setbacks or don't want the turbines, or maybe the majority are fine with that, what are you gonna do with that? Is that gonna be the end all be all, or are you just gonna have wasted all that time taking in this information, not going with the majority again? So why is it a repeat of last month's meeting? Why has nothing been done? Why do we keep getting the same thing? And what's gonna be done with the information from the surveys? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else?
No answers to the questions?
I don't think I've got a good answer for that. The best thing we can do is go over the information, compile it, see what the survey reads, and then try and make a decision from there.
And I
That
will,
might be a waste of time is what I'm saying.
If it's
You
a
don't
waste
know what
of
you're
time,
gonna
it's a
do with it.
waste of time, but at least we're trying to do something to find out how people
You
feel.
didn't even come up with the questions for the homework from last time. Like, you're just wasting time. You just keep trying to get us through these meetings and appease us until we get out the door, and then come back with nothing having done again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Kevin Murphy, Winfield Township. Can we get on your website and get a copy of your draft, of what you already have right now, the last two, to see if they're,
that's a great question, Kevin, and I have the copy now. I plan to go to see Kathy on Monday, and I will see if she can put it up on the website, so at least everyone can look at it. And I think we'd have a much more productive meeting if you guys could actually see what we've been working on, and then you could have actual questions for us.
Thank you.
as well then, could we see the most current copy of the safety manual that you'll be working with? The viscosities these things are, the manual, that's outdated. I don't think you have a current one, and I think you should if you're contemplating getting to bed with these guys or allowing them to come into our neighborhood. It's like guardrails, you wanna protect the people, you don't want a frickin' curve where somebody flips into the lake and once that happens.
A lot of that would depend on what they go to put in. If they're going off, one they put in some other place, it's not a safety manual for our township. It's not a safety manual on the windmills, the turbines that they put in. It would be like dragging our feet, just to try and, make you happy. There's no way we can do it till we know what they wanna do. And we're gonna know
It's
that.
what you
till we
wanna
can
do
get
now.
our- and-
Yeah, we don't care what they want.
Until we can get our ordinance passed, then they have some sort of idea of what they can and what they can't do. Okay? Then they'll have to adjust what they build to the ordinance. But we don't know what they're gonna put up until they bring back a special land use to us. And then that's when it gets either approved or not.
So you can set the restrictions though, and then they have.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to set the ordinance, which is the restrictions, right now. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Anybody else?
Yeah.
You ready?
I don't understand why you can't proceed to the decommissioning, we haven't talked anything about that amongst you guys and get some of that settled to go back to Kyle.
We have.
Well, not very much. Not nil. And another question is, when is our moratorium up?
That's a great question.
When did we start there, 2 months ago?
I mean, we've only got, I think it's actually February.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna go into January with your survey, and,
Personally, I think our survey is gonna be,
The surveys,
pardon?
Didn't we extend the moratorium?
Couple months
Well,
ago.
For 6 months, and our 6 months will be,
Extended again, no.
no,
We did extend it a little while ago, it ends in February after the last extension.
yep.
The first extension ended
August, it ain't done, it ain't done,
Ended in
you know.
September.
September, 3 months ago, and we extended it for 6 months.
It ended in September
December,
and we
January,
extended it for
February,
another
so
6 months.
3 months.
That's gonna be February.
February it'll be done again. Went fastly.
I guess so. Thank you. Or do you have something else?
I don't know. I got all.
Anybody else? Becky?
In regards to your surveys, because there was so much conflict publicly in the last presidential race on dead people voting, you know, some people voted 2 or 3 times. I hope you come up with a good way that your survey cards will be filled out by one person and sent in, and that person will not be able to fill in more. I want you to think about how you're gonna do that. Like going on a website, anybody can go on a website and fill it out. They don't even have to be in our township.
More than once.
So it's just something I want you to think about, you know, so it's like an honest survey. And that was my other question on here. Are you gonna do 1 card per address? Or are you gonna do like 1 survey card per voter?
So that's something we'll have to discuss. Thanks, Ricky, I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I think we'll be voting.
Could have a house divided, right?
I can tell you what Pine Township did, if
Roger,
you're interested.
Leslie's here from Pine Township that did the survey. She can kinda help us.
They did do it by the tax roll. So 1 survey went out and only 1 person from that tax-paying address could fill out the survey. They got a folded up piece of paper in an envelope, but then they also had an identification card that they had to send back along with their survey, and that took care of what Vicky was just talking about. And then it was anonymous, your name was not on that survey. So, like what I told the people in Pine Township, if people are afraid to come forward because we're, you know, so contentious, it was anonymous. So, I guess shame on them. If they're not as passionate about things as we are, you know, that's just how it goes in every election. So, maybe that helps.
Thank you.
But it wasn't cheap,